Imagine taking a pill for a headache, and hours later, meeting death. In September 1982, in the Chicago metropolitan area, 7 people, men, women, and children, died after ingesting Tylenol capsules that had been laced with cyanide. The pharmacy, the supermarket, places that always represented safety, had become the stage of an invisible horror. If you enjoy mysteries that break from the ordinary, stay with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now so you don't miss more stories that seem normal until they turn into nightmares. Subscribe and turn on the notifications as we dive into this story. It was the fall of 1982 in the United States, a time when people took medication without much thought. The Tylenol brand was synonymous with quick relief. On the morning of September 28th, a 12-year-old girl from Elk Grove Village took a Tylenol capsule for a sore throat. Hours later, she was dead. The next day, a postal worker named Adam Janus also took Tylenol and died. Soon after, his brother and sister-in-law, who came to comfort the family, also died. All had taken capsules from the same bottle. A pattern quickly emerged. The capsules had a strong smell of almonds, the mark of cyanide, and came from different factory batches. Then came the question, who could do something like this, and why? Investigators discovered that the poison hadn't been added at the factory. Someone had taken bottles off shelves, opened the capsules, inserted cyanide, and returned the bottles as if nothing had happened. Johnson & Johnson, the manufacturer of Tylenol, reacted quickly, recalling millions of bottles and urging everyone to return the product. But fear had already spread. A simple painkiller had become a deadly trap. The seal, the packaging, the brand, none of it seemed trustworthy anymore. Everyday routine had turned into risk. And then, a twist. What if the killer wasn't hiding in the shadows, but was among us, acting with a normal bottle? The main suspect was James W. Lewis. He sent an extortion letter to Johnson & Johnson demanding $1 million to stop the killings. The letter described the method in detail, how to open the bottles and add the poison. But Lewis was never charged with the murders. The evidence wasn't enough. There was also a disturbing detail. The letter had been sent before some of the deaths were made public. Coincidence or something more? Lewis seemed to know things only the real killer would know, but to this day, no one has been able to prove anything. While terror consumed Chicago, the investigation grew increasingly complicated. The evidence was scarce. Many capsules had been discarded, and the cyanide destroyed any chance of tracing it. Lewis had a criminal record, but nothing placed him directly at the crime scene. Other theories emerged: industrial sabotage, a vengeful employee, a random attack. None held up, and the public, unsure whom to trust, stopped taking Tylenol. A simple gesture, swallowing a pill, now meant fear. Imagine going to a pharmacy, buying medicine, thinking it'll help you, not knowing that inside the capsule lies a death sentence. That feeling, that invasion of trust, is what makes this case so haunting. Decades later, the case remains open. What does that mean? That the killer or killers were never found. What could drive someone to commit such a random, impersonal crime? And what if the real culprit wasn't just a man, but a system that failed? A flaw in safety, in vigilance, in trust. Even with new technology and DNA analysis, no conclusive evidence has ever emerged. The author of the crime remains a ghost, and the question still stands: who was the shelf killer, and could he strike again today? The silent massacre of the Tylenol capsules in 1982 reminds us that danger often hides in what feels safe. That bottle of medicine you grab without thinking once served as the weapon of an invisible murderer. The legacy of this tragedy was long-lasting. It changed how products are packaged and sold. The safety seal, the protective wrapping, the tamper-proof design, all of it was born from this nightmare. But even so, fear never completely disappears. Because deep down, we know that human malice can always find a crack in our everyday trust. In the end, the Tylenol case isn't just about murder. It's about trust. It's about how a simple act can turn the ordinary into a nightmare. If this story moved you, share your theory in the comments. Who do you think was responsible? Share this video so more people can learn about the day medicine became poison.